Hey everybody, welcome to a special edition of the Daily Extra from BBVA Compass Stadium in Houston, Texas, here with Greg Lawless. I'm Nick Fershaw. We're counting down the hours now to the opening of this brand new stadium in Houston. The Houston Dynamo at home on Saturday against DC United, 4:30 p.m. Eastern on the NBC Sports Network, a live chat on MLSsoccer.com. The last day before this big game for the Dynamo, we went out and caught their training session today. A fairly easy one for these guys going into the game after a midweek game.
Yeah, of course, they played on Wednesday night at New York, so they had a flight coming back on Thursday. It was a 1-0 loss, so I think the session on Friday was both to get the travel out of their legs and that kind of thing, but also maybe just get that loss out of their legs, because they felt like they could have gotten a result up in New York and probably should have gotten a result up there.
Well, we caught some comments from head coach Dominic Kinnear talking about the excitement level surrounding the BBVA Compass Stadium opening, as well as Brian Ching talking about the success the Houston Dynamo had in 2006, 2007. That's what got this place built.
Excited is probably used a little bit too much in this case, but it's really the only word that works out perfectly. And I think, we've seen the locker room, we've seen the field. If people went to the game last night, they kind of saw it under the lights. It's an excellent stadium. It ranks up there, I think, with one of the best stadiums for soccer in MLS.
You know, you look at Pat on stats, Craig Weibels, Brian Mullins, Dwayne DeRosario's, Wade Barrett's, and these guys have not only, set a winning tradition on the field, but also in the community, and they've really built that Dynamo brand. And, let's face it, if I don't think we've hit it off with that much success when we first got here, the stadium would have been a lot harder to get and a lot harder to build.
Well, Brian Ching, obviously a big part of this Dynamo lineup. He was held out of the game on Wednesday in New York, Greg, just so that he would be rested and ready for this one.
Yeah, and this is a big game for him against a defense that's actually been a little down right now. I mean, the DC United defense has some injuries to deal with, and they've had to shuffle some of the guys in their back line. So Brian Ching will be hugely important for Houston in the attack, as will Will Bruin. Now, the second-year man has had a decent season so far and started to really pick it up in the last couple of weeks. But this is a very good DC team in the attack.
Yeah, certainly no slouch, DC United and that attack. The boys from NBC Sports are in town. We caught up with Kyle Martino. He told us a little bit more about DC United and Dwayne DeRosario.
What do you get out of Dero? He helped build that stadium. He's on one of the pillars, So if he gives you the magic that he's already shown a little bit this season for DC, and that he showed with Houston in that orange jersey, if the moment gets to him and he gets inspired, DC United at his feet is a great team.
Well, MLS Commissioner Garber in town to celebrate the opening of the stadium, and he had some interesting comments when he met the media on Friday, Greg, talking about his first impressions of this site. There was nothing here, obviously, when he got a first look, but it was so close to downtown. He had a good feeling about the new stadium site.
A couple of years ago, Chris driving me down in his car, it's not like we're traveling around in limos and going in cavalcades. I hopped in his car, might have been an official VW vehicle that you had at that time, and we looked at this open lot. And he said, this is where it's going to be. And just for the heck of it, we walked back to the middle of town. I think it took us 10 or 12 minutes. That's something that I think is very exciting and something I look forward to seeing. Houston is a great sports town, but it's proven to be, since we've moved the Dynamo down here, to be a great soccer town.
Well, Greg, a reminder for you and everybody else out there, again, Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern on the NBC Sports Network, a live chat on MLSsoccer.com. The Houston Dynamo at home against DC United. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, here's my big prediction. 2-1 Houston Dynamo. Danny Cruz gets a goal for DC United, the former Dynamo midfielder, and I do think Brian Ching is going to get on the scoreboard for this one. He's going to score. I'm going to go out on a limb here. Luis Camargo is going to get the other goal for the Houston Dynamo, 2-1 in their home opener here at BBVA.
There you go, a bold prediction. Check it out on Saturday. See if Greg was right. BBVA Compass Stadium. Welcome to MLS.